all right. Oh, all right. So we are on air. All right, welcome to the program. It's a cold Wednesday morning. Yeah, but nonetheless, we have got some hot show lined up for you from now until the end of the program. Welcome, my name is Victor Lowe, and right now on air is The Viewpoint. With me in studio, Katisya, who is an advocate of the High Court. Yes, there you have him. Katisya, good morning.
Good morning, Victor. Yes. Thank you, Victor.
And with me in studio, I have got Nobert Odull, who is an international relations and diplomacy student who is also enthusiastic about politics, security, research, and sustainable development. He was also a delegate of Youth Lead Africa Summit 2021 in Arusha, Tanzania. That is huge, man. How are you, Nobert?
I'm very fine. How about you?
All these, I'm doing well. All these details about you, fine. You tell us more about this as well. And finally, we have got Dr. Rotich, who is also here with us. He's an economist, but I usually say with a lot of bias in politics. Karibu sana daktari.
Thank you so much.
Gentlemen, we have to get the show on the road. First of all, let me start by asking you this question, Nobert, now that the new kid in the block. There was that video of that lady who was being raped in my home county of Homa Bay. What do you make of that video? And of course, right now I hear that there is a case already,
yes,
which was lodged by Counsel Steve Ogola, who said that he will actually stand in for the lady, and some kind of legal proceedings will be taken against the three gentlemen. What do you make of that?
I think personally, it's even if it's quote-unquote culture in terms of, because they were saying those are some cultural aspects are being broken by the lady. I'd feel it's quite uncouth to just start lashing an old woman or an old lady of that age. And someone actually was taking a video of it, which is quite justifiable because it came to the limelight. But now I think that is wrong in my own perspective. I think there are better ways to solve whatever dispute was between them.
Yes.
Yes.
And what about you, Kevin?
Yes, I agree with my brother here on the same. However, it all depends on how that lady will respond to it, because you know, in some cultures, people even consent to them being given such punishment.
Yes.
Yeah, because where I come from, like in Ukambani, for example, there used to be those cultural sessions whereby if somebody goes against the clan, then he is punished that way. So the question is, did she consent to that? And number two, if she says she was against all that, I think the law must take its course.
Yes.
And my learned friend Ogola is justified to go to court and fight for her rights, because that is assault.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no way you can justify assault. It is assault, regardless of the reasons. Yes.
But you see, when you talk of culture, you say that in Ukambani, that was way back in the days.
Yes,
you see, it was in a systematic manner. Either you are being given all 6 strokes, 5, 7, depending on what Wazee would decide and say, because this is the mistake that you've done, so we are going to give you 10.
Yes,
and that was it.
It was like that, actually. Yeah. It was actually, there were rules, and there were those people whose the mandate was to now
minister that.
Exactly.
Yes.
But now what happened there, I think it was just being done without any particular structure. And I think, of course, we have to appreciate that those cultures have been overtaken by events.
Yes.
Yeah. And as much as we want to introduce them and also live by them, we must also be alive to the current legal channels. Because in my opinion, whatever happened to that lady, even if she said she consents, then she has a family who can say, no, we are going to take these people to court. So I think we have to be careful. As much as we appreciate culture, we have to be alive to the legal channels which are currently available.
Yes.
Yes.
Doctor, that was a clear assault. If you watch the video,
I think although we have the law and order in this country, and the Constitution is there to guide or guard everybody. So whatever happened, it was quite illegal. Well, whether you'll accept as a taboo or something, a cultural practice, that is, it cannot be condoned in such a, in a civilized world like now. where, I mean, the law is very, very clear, and the rights of every individual must be protected. Where some individual feels that they have a right over others just because of the traditional background, or, I mean, that cannot be acceptable. So the law is an equalizer.
All right, so just to put in perspective, the three gentlemen are here. All right, and they're in police custody as we speak. I think there's a mug shot by the police. Once they were arrested, we have got one of them, Lukio Okwiri, we have got Enos Odhiambo, and lastly, Dedan Kimathi. The three are right now in police custody. There you have it. Shame on you. Okay, and by the way, it was not cultural. It wasn't cultural. The story says that the lady, they accused the lady of removing her underpants when she was going to protect her son, who was being, there was a fight between the son, the daughter, so there was a came in, so it wasn't cultural per se. So, gentlemen, let the law take its own course. Now, moving to what we have today, nominations are still happening, and we've seen many people falling by the wayside that we never expected. Dr. Did you expect the bigwigs, so to speak, not to make a comeback?
I think, if you can remember the discussion that we had last week.
Yes.
And I told you very categorically, let me talk on what we witnessed in the areas that the UDA actually did. And I told you very, very practically that there are no secret or sacred cows in UDA. And you witness what really happened, because no one was protected by any above men or women. What transpired on the ground, is a decision that the Kenyans did based on the kind of democratic space that they were given. And to me, it was one of the best nominations I've ever had. I witnessed personally. I was on the ground in Kericho County, and we had very senior fellows of the persons of Charles Keter.
Even Kericho shocked many.
Yes, it shocked many. We have had a number of MPs. MPs are Inamo Silvanus.
Yes.
MP Kikowet Soin, Gipsengariat Koros. MB Kiburete, Mr. Kiptargech, all these guys were thrown by young and energetic fellows. So in this case, it shows that the nomination exercise was done according to the law. Me, I witnessed a lot of peace that I've never seen it before. And many of you people were expecting big names to come back. You go to the Wasingishu, huge names was drawn out. You talk about Bomet, where we have a young girl at the age of 24, being now the women rep of Bomet County. That tells you how, the extent at which democracy can go.
Yes.
And that, even while, of course, we have witnessed some hiccups here and there, of course, it is very normal. I also told you last time that we are still a growing democracy. And even the management of these elections are still wanting, because the people who are managing are the same people who are not well trained. And whatever hiccups that came across, of course, we also expected. But I believe more than 60–70% was done, and it was done rightfully. Yes, we have had those who are now thinking about rushing to be independent candidates. They are claiming that they were, but these are mishaps that some of these fellows are not willing to accept. And the reason behind this, the register that was used was the IEBC register of 2017. Those who voted in 2017 were able to vote in the ongoing nomination, because the register comes, is the one that is being used is the 2017 one. Now, when we are heading to the general election, we shall be using a whole register up to the latest. That means there are a lot of people who are locked out in the whole process. So what these independent candidates are banking on is actually the number of people, or those number of people who never voted because of the register. That was only to the limit of 2017. And there are those who won by 1,000 margin, 2,000 margin, and I still find that one very risky, especially for those who will go to the independent, and maybe you will come back, because there are those people who never voted, and they will have a chance come the general election.
Talk of 1,000 in Naivasha, Jen Kihara had a difference of 2 votes.
Yeah, so these are some of we are in fact. Let me tell you,
a vote is a vote, whether it is one vote.
If these people will be allowed to go to the independent to contest under independent. things may also change. Because I feel there are a number of people who never had a chance to vote because of the limitation of the register. That only limits to the 2017 general election.
Absolutely. No, but let me get your opening remarks.
I think, first of all, it's a new dawn.
Yes.
It's a new dawn to the bigwigs. For me, it sends a message that, one is the youth are really willing to step into the political space. Number two, track record is very important. Because we're seeing people like the so-called Keter, they're involved in majority of graft issues. I think now it's high time that track record speak. Number two, the scorecard you have on the public. I think for me that is what is making the bigwigs to fall. And now it's a new dawn. So we need to reflect that to now in the national level, in terms of the presidency, the governorship, and all positions across.
Okay. And Katisya, you know, when all this started, people said that it was an automatic kind of a sail-through for all the bigwigs.
Yes.
That's a shocker.
It is. And I think this is democracy doing its job.
Yes.
Because you see some of these old politicians, they have the perception that they have been there, they know the system, and they will be able to sail through smoothly. And especially those who participated in forming these major political parties. If you look at UDA, for example, and what happened, I think many of them assumed that they have all along been friends of the party leader of UDA, and they knew they will sail through.
They've been there for long.
Yes, they've been there for long, and they were shocked because some of them have detached themselves from the ground. Some of them have, after occupying those high offices, they have lost touch with the people on the ground.
Yes,
and I think it was a lesson to these bigwigs, because even if you look at, for example, ODM, for example, and you saw the nominations which happened between Otuoma and Florence Mutua, for example, you know, the women rep assumed that she has been in the party all along. There were all those manner of assumptions, and I think it is a lesson, and all political parties must encourage that kind of democracy. Because what many parties are doing now, this they are calling consensus or negotiated democracy. I think it is denying the people on the ground a chance to elect their own people. Because if these parties are saying that they will rely on scientific polls or maybe what they hear from their people on the ground, I think they are being unfair to the people, to the grassroots people. And Victor, be assured that those people who participated in those nominations and they won fairly, chances are those are the people who are wanted by the people at the ground. And chances are they will carry the day even in the general election. And now this idea of somebody like, if you look at the case of Susan Kihika, for example, even though she has been able to sail through, she has been having issues with the main players in UDA. So it becomes a question of are these parties for the people or for the top players in the party? If you look at many parties, even Jubilee, you've seen how there has been chaos here in Nairobi, whereby the senior party officials are proposing a particular candidate. The people are saying, no, let these people come to us and we nominate them. If you look at Mombasa, for example, of course, the issue of Shabal and Nasri. And Shabal said, I'm not satisfied. I'm thinking of going for independent. So I think it's a matter of nominations are very critical in ensuring democracy in Kenya. But let's not forget that the Political Parties Amendment Act is very clear. And I've heard Dr. saying that for UDA, for example, the 2017 IBC register was used. So we ask ourselves, did UDA comply to the Political Parties Amendment Act? Because parties are supposed to use their party register when they are conducting nominations. Because let's be alive to the fact that an opponent from another party may come and vote in a weak candidate. So that they meet them at the main election and they defeat them. And that's why the Political Parties Act was very clear on the reason as to why the party's register should be used. So the question is, Victor, and be assured, you will see very many cases being filed by those people who were defeated in those nominations. And we must be prepared for that. And of course, the IBC has given parties time.
The tribunals are actually on their sittings right now because there's so many complaints coming up. Daktari, you know, when you talk of the party nominations and the big wigs falling by the wayside, again, he's also talked about the issue of party register. We've seen the issue of consensus. When it all began, direct nomination was given to Shabal and Abdul Samad now have to square it out in Mombasa because there's that direct nomination. In Homa Bay, it happened to Gladys Wanga. People were grieved by that. But then when you look at it, did we not see the flip side of the party leader trying to retain his strong members to the party? Because when you look at what happened to the UDA, they said, we are going to the people, let them go decide. Some of the strong people who were supposed to come back did not make it back. But when you look at the ODM side, they give those direct nominations and he still retained those strong people with him. Was it a miscalculation on the DP side?
I don't think...
Was he ever confident? Or even the candidates?
I think what you need to learn, Olo, what the DP was looking at was a huge disagreement in the event that the wrong people actually, if you impose people, impose leaders on the people. Democratically. That is why he was able to negotiate some of the areas. Talk of places like there are counties whereby he negotiated, like in Kakamega, whereby the guys were told, why did you step down for this one? And then in other places. But to me, I've been against the negotiation law. When you negotiate to give somebody a direct ticket, that in itself, you show some kind of partisanship or prejudice against the other. Look at what's happening with Ngatian and the other gentleman. Why Wanyonyi is saying he has gone far? He cannot retract back. He cannot step down for somebody for Ngatia. So in this case, the same thing happened in Homa Bay, where you see people disagreed almost openly with Right Honorable Raila Odinga because he seems to be favoring Wanga against the other one. So why are we saying that, although we want to allow democracy to take place? Because when you do that, you are telling the people that you have got all the powers to choose the people of the leaders of your interest. And even if you want yours, there should be a better way of assisting your candidate. If you want so and so, you finance or you do anything that can help. But where you pronounce it openly, that also it will be in part to the majority of the people. Take, for example, you may not really tell what will happen in Homa Bay, my friend, because there are those who are supporting others away from Wanga. They are totally in disagreement with the Right Honorable Raila Odinga's suggestion that we support this lady. And these other places, look at the Wasingishu, what happened. Most of the big wigs are they are at home. Why? It's because His Excellency the Deputy President said no. You go back to the people. Go back to the people. Omba kura hawa watakupatia. In case they don't want, they will give another person. So what His Excellency the Deputy, he has less problems, despite of the complaints and all this and that. Those who are complaints, they wanted backups from the His Excellency the Deputy President. And I'm not saying that will hold water because the people themselves.
It could be democracy. But something like Kositany, nobody expected Kositany not to make it back.
It's true.
That's
what I'm telling you, Olo.
But it's democracy. The DP needs people like Kositany.
What is happening in UDA, my friend? There are those guys who were discouraged, like Keter of Nandi Hills. But he came back. It was not about a favor from an individual. It is about getting favor from the people. And that in itself, will go a long way in establishing a strong democracy. And even leadership.
I agree, but with all matters of calculation, as a politician, you have been in the field.
There are those who believe,
you have been in the field.
There are those who believe
it's about interest.
That if they are not in the system, and nothing will go right. They have a feeling that they are entitled. They have a feeling that they are indispensable. But they are dispensable. We have leaders. Those people who have been elected by the leaders, they will be groomed. Even if they don't have that kind of expansive experience, they will catch up along with the system because these are leaders. So, although what happened in UDA and what's happening in some parts of the other areas of ODM, perfectly, I am for it. Let democracy prevail in all areas.
Okay. No, but young people came out and boom, they're shining.
Yeah.
In fact, when you go to the MCA level, most of the MCAs have been sent home.
It's true.
What are we getting right or not getting wrong?
First of all, I think I'd go back to my first issue.
Yes.
It's a matter of scorecard. It's high time that, the youth they miss out on these opportunities most of the time. The youth are being used in this whole election process. The youth are being used. So it means now the youth have, it's high time that we rise up to these positions. We want the things because, we make 60% of the population in Kenya. So we want a position too. We want a share of that cake so that we ourselves can help ourselves to become a better Kenya at large. So it's a matter of scorecard, because when you see even the bigwigs, some of them, the big names in the country, they have done nothing. Look at Toto, the 24-year-old. She didn't have even funds to campaign, but she won. It's a matter of,
selling
your idea and bringing change to the society that the bigwigs per se have not.
Then it means that sometimes it's not about money. It's about how you resonate with the local.
It's true. Yes, it's true.
And in fact, that if we take an example of Toto, for example, her story is quite unique, so to speak. And she's making it to the history because, number one, she said that she didn't have money. In fact, at some point, some people were even offering her vehicles to campaign.
It's true.
You understand?
It's true.
So it's not about money. You be there as individual. Give us your clear manifesto and we'll vote for you.
That's very true, because I think, it's a time of a shift in the ideology. Because most of the time we see most politicians use money to bribe and, to get their way up there. But now it's a matter of ideology, because we're in the 21st century, it's 2022. Some places do not have even the basic necessities such as water, schools. So it's a matter of now, what is your thought on bringing change on the society? And that is what now the youth are stepping into. We see the likes of Toto. The other one in 2017, we saw John Muregi in Meru.
Yes.
Campaigning on, I think on a boda-boda. Is a boda-boda guy?
Actually, it was a bicycle.
Yeah, on a bicycle. So it's high time that the youth sell their idea to the public. And, this is what I have to offer, this is what I bring to the table. Do you buy it or do not buy it? Because at the end of the day, we see people using finances. They're not
absolutely.
People like, sorry to say this, Kina Kositanya. The bigwigs in UDA, we would expect them to be, he's the right-hand man of Dr. Ruto. But then what do we see? It's a matter of now, what idea do you have to sell to the people?
Yes.
So
I know. All right. Dr. in the political arena. He knows the pain of losing an election. He knows. Katisya, when you see people like Kositai, number one.
Yes.
The likes of Mandago made a U-turn and said, you know what, my term is over as a governor, so back to the Senate.
Yes.
A calculated move.
Yes.
And perhaps, what should somebody say? Mandago, governor, you've served just 2 terms. Thank you so much. Let somebody else come in. But this is politics. It's an open field. Were you supposed to see him off and say, go ahead, thank you?
I think politics, as you have said, is a matter of strategy. And you must calculate your moves. You must look at the reality. And I agree with my brother here that what you have done for the people is more important.
Yes.
And politics is a matter of convincing the people to put you in that position because they should believe that once you are there, you will fit and help them in the best way possible. And the Mandago, for example, and did not shy away a long time ago when the likes of Governor Mutua and Governor Kibwana were saying, after even Governor Joho and Oparanya, when they were saying after governor, you should become president. And they all said they declared their bid for presidency. What happened later? They came and just some of them kept quiet. Others, like Makwene governor, said he will go for senator. Mutua is saying he wants to become Raila as running mate. Oparanya is quiet. But Mandago, from the word go, he said, I want to be realistic.
Yes.
That the seat I can get is that of Senate. And he started planning for that long time ago.
And you see, with the Senate doesn't have a term limit.
Exactly, and there's no term limit. So I think, in my opinion, Mandago is one of those few wise politicians. But now let's go to the issue which my brother has mentioned about looking at the youth factor.
Yes.
And nowadays, for you to win a seat, you must consider that the young people as much as in the past they have been used to also cause all manner of chaos and also to assist in
and to push politicians.
Exactly. But now, young people are at the core of politics. Look at this parliament which is going home, for example. There are so many young parliamentarians. And believe you me, in the next parliament, there will be so many young parliamentarians. And actually, even those old politicians, those who are going for governor, many of them are considering young people as their running mates. Because the youth now are coming up in large numbers to vote. And actually, even on the issue of presidential running mates, apart from looking at the tribe where somebody is coming from, looking at gender, I may actually advise the presidential candidates for free that they should also consider the young people, because we constitute more than 60% of this population, and the young people have gone out.
That would look interesting.
Yes, exactly.
You can imagine Katisya, the running mate. I'm just imagining.
Amen. Yes, because imagine young people from 35 and below, there are so many, and so many of them have taken votes. They have gone out there and they have registered as voters. So I think it's, and for young people, as much as these old politicians think that young people are only there for the money, I think they have woken up. Because if you give me 1,000 today, I'll use it in the next 1 hour. But young people want something sustainable. Jobs, talk of jobs.
Futuristic ideas.
Futuristic ideas. But these old politicians, Victor, are used to that idea of doing politics by giving handouts. Because that's what they have been doing. Giving handouts, giving fake promises. But you see now, Kenya, I think the level of literacy and elitism is very high. People are questioning what you are telling them. If you say you will construct a stadium, like you saw what the Jubilee administration, when they were doing their campaigns, they campaigned on those ideas. How many stadiums have been completed? I think young people are able to interrogate you. Elites are able to interrogate you. Is this realistic? Is this possible? Look at the debts which we have as a government. And somebody now comes here and campaigns by saying, when I take over, I'll do this and this. So many promises. And there are those key issues which are affecting Kenyans. Issues, those basic human needs. Look at the housing, for example, as one of the issues. Look at employment, security. And when politicians are doing their politics by advancing ethnicity, tribalism, and all manner of negative politics, Kenyans are watching. And I think, Victor, as we go to 2022, 9th of August, you'll be shocked. Because even somebody who was not even popular, and you have seen this idea of independent candidates. Because some parties, to be honest, and what Dr. has said, want to have their people with them. Like ODM, for example. Look at what has happened in Kisumu. Where can you give the people a chance to choose their governor? Where are you forcing Governor Nyong'o, whom I respect very much, to the people? You have seen there's a large number of people who are opposed to that idea. Even the issue of Homa Bay, for example. So I think it's an idea that people must agree.
But Katisya, legally speaking, it's provided for.
Yes, it is provided for.
As a part of the process of getting the nominations done.
To reduce the complaints, my friend, you allow the people who are supposed to complain to do their job.
I'm saying it's an option.
It's an option, but
it's an option.
But Victor,
which any party, include the DP, negotiated democracy, it's there. The universal suffrage that you're doing right now, happening currently, and direct nomination, is provided for.
It is, but if the other party is not convinced or does not agree with that consensus, that arrangement. Why can't you allow the people to choose their person? For example, the issue of Caleb Kozitani. Yes, he lost. Did you see him going to UDA appeals board or going to court? Maybe he's convinced that the process was fair. Even though he lost the nominations, he's convinced that it was fair. And he has said there are so many ways I can support the UDA party leader. So I think the idea of consensus is also being misused by some party officials. Look at, for example, the entrance of Igathe to the Nairobi gubernatorial race. And it is so clear, even you see it is being told that State House operatives have agreed that it has to be Igathe.
Which something we'll discuss.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I think there are some people, Victor, we must be alive to that.
Okay.
There are some people within the party who wants to push their agenda and influence the party leader. Maybe the party leader is very innocent.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what? When you talk of influence and pushing,
yes.
Is it the same thing, Dr.? Because every politician must have an interest. You have had that interest of being a politician and running for a political seat. But having your house in order is equally important. When you have those strong people behind you.
What we are saying, Odull, in areas where you see that there will not be any opposing main whatever, you can do a negotiated kind of democracy.
Yes.
But you also have to read the mood of the people. You have to know what the expectations that the people have. People have actually proposed their own leaders. This is the leader that we want to have. And then, instead of now really negotiating with them fast, I don't want to see a situation whereby we have 2 people, 3 people negotiating. I want you to talk to the public. Let the public express their opinion as to among the 2 or 3 who have actually come up for contesting, who is more preferable. That is why I was also refusing the issues of pollsters, whereby you choose somebody because of an opinion, which was also formed by people who may have also been influenced by others.
Imagine how chaotic it can get.
Yeah, so now let me tell you.
When you go to the ground and have supporters in a hall and say, this are going, it can be chaotic.
But the best method, Odull, as I've always said, is that it is let the people go to an election. Let the people choose their own people. I mean, the negotiated democracy may not be very good because the perception that people have is that you prefer this candidate because of your interest. In this case, Odull, let me tell you, and I told you during our last election, and just let me repeat again, what I witnessed in the election, nomination that happened in UDA, there was no favoritism. There was nobody who was said, somebody from the head office has actually called that they need so and so. In Kericho, for example, the governor seat, it was contested by people who among these people were very powerful former government operatives.
Yes.
Talk of the person of Charles Keter. He came with bomb and fire. You saw how he came with vehicles, overall, billboards everywhere. I never saw small pictures. I saw billboards being placed in every strategic position of the country. But that never counted. You talk about the person who won by the name Dr. Eric Mutai. This is a guy who came out from the university, a green fellow. But he sold his manifesto well. He agreed well with the people. He went round. Yes. He got the support from the public. Let me tell you, this is a guy who never gave out even a single coin to the public. Are you imagining? He's contesting for the position of governorship. And he was not dishing out money because he never had. People were actually contributing vehicles to make a convoy to look like this is a big fellow. But he made it. He's now the governor, elected by the Kericho people. So it is not about money. It is about your manifesto. It is about your willingness and how you sell your agenda. So what happened everywhere, Odull, and you talk about the Nandi, you talk about the Wasingishu, you talk about all these places, even Bomet. Even though, of course, we are with the fellows who have actually gone for independent, we don't know what will happen. But with a range of about 60,000 votes, because Eric Mutai in Kericho got 126,000, while the second strongest contender, who is also a long-serving person, a person of over 20 years in experience in the civil service and in politics, got 60,000. Now, that can tell you that people are serious.
A difference of 6,000. When you go to appeals board. You cannot. And of course, with a lot of lucratives that he was able to oil up the process. But that never changed the mindset of the people of Kericho. That really tells you that Kenyans are maturing democratically.
Victor, on the matter of negotiations.
As you answer that, let me also put it this way. Perhaps the whole idea of I have money, billboards, the way you're putting it, the 4x4s, we all know. A certain brand of vehicle which is commonly used in Kenya, all branded. But that is now changing. when you see a simple man, for example, the lecturer from university, straight to the ground and winning that election, that change of perception, that change of fresh air and giving ideas to the people is perhaps now what Kenyans are looking for.
That is the way to go.
Yes, I'd agree with Daktari here. We are now maturing democratically because for the longest time we are seeing people who, a lot of experience in the civil service as well as in the political arena, a lot of experience, the same time a lot of promises that are empty. So I think where we are heading now into is a space where let's sit down on a round table. What do I have to offer? This is what I have to offer. I offer A, B, C, D. What about you? D, E, F, whatever. Then we see what is more practical, number one. Because I'll be honest to say we were promised over 10 stadiums in 2013 and 2017 as well. But now we are seeing the stadiums being constructed out of need because the president needs to go to Kirinyaga, he needs to go to Kisumu and elsewhere. So it's a matter of now an idea, ideology. That is where we are moving into. Apart from money, money is also important to facilitate, movements and all that, mobilization and all that. But at the same time, we are shifting from that to ideology. Let people come to you because of what you have to say. And now that is, for the longest time, we're seeing the only person I have seen in my lifetime that would bring people out of the ideologies they have. It's only Mr. Raila Odinga, no one else. Then two, in a matter of negotiations, as negotiative democracy, it's also important because one, we also have to further party ideologies. We have political parties, and these are vehicles towards achieving political ends. So therefore, we mean that it is also important that we consider negotiative democracy also becoming important. In this sense, one, from the party's position, who is the best person to further our ideology? Number two, we are seeing, I think Daktari directed this to the Azimio group. It is important we consider negotiations. At the end of the day, if we elect, we negotiate person A from person B. Person A, what will person A bring to the basket? The number of votes they will bring. Aside from choosing person B, okay, he might be the people's sweetheart, yes. But is he realistic in carrying out the party policies? Will he, when going to the floor of the House, conduct and sell through party interests and further party interests? So for me, I think negotiations is necessary, but it's not a matter of imposition of candidates to the people.
All right.
Yeah.
So, you know what, Katisya, because there's something here.
Yes.
There is now change of tack. In the US, it's about ideology.
Yes.
Hakuna kupanga laini na nikupatie, wanasema at 1,000 bob is for one person. Hakuna kugawa. Some people say 1,000 bob is for one person and you go.
Yes.
In mature democracy, it's about ideologies. People sit down in a town hall.
Yes.
Give me your ideologies. Give me your manifesto. You have got technocrats right behind you. We have got think tanks right behind you. And you tell me this is what you're going to do. And that's exactly the footprints that people will follow once they vote you in. Those are the footprints you will leave behind, and people will follow as they look at your work and say, this is what you promised and this is what you've so far achieved.
Yes.
Are we getting there as a country?
I think we are trying. As a country, we are trying, to be honest. Because if you look at the kind of leaders who have even been elected in 2017, I think people who are looking at the ideology. And I think Dr. can agree with me, even how Uhuru and Ruto were even elected in the first place in 2013 and 2017.
Yes.
People who are looking at what they were telling Kenyans. To be honest, Victor, those two gentlemen and their party, they had very, very good ideas, which they shared to the Kenyans. And Kenyans bought those ideas. In 2013, they sold so many ideas, and they also tried to achieve some of them. That's why Kenyans in 2017 re-elected them. Remember, in 2013, Raila was a prime minister.
Yes.
And Honorable Kalonzo was a vice president. They had big positions. Uhuru was a deputy prime minister. Ruto was just a minister. And they sold ideas to Kenyans, and the Kenyans bought the ideas. Now looking at 2022, and looking at what Kenyans want good ideas. What will you do for us? Yeah, I was actually amazed to see residents of Lavington interviewing MCA aspirants. Yeah, they are going to those town halls and conducting a proper interview. Yeah, for an MCA, because an MCA is very important in a ward. Actually, the most people normally say the most important person in a particular area, yeah, is an MCA, an MP, and a governor, because those are the people who are on the ground. Yeah, the ideas of the people are streamed to now the top level, yes, where the president is, from these people at the grassroots. So I think as a country, we are trying, but now the old political bigwigs, I think they also need to be alive to the fact that politics in Kenya is changing. Yeah, there's somebody who has been in politics for 30 years, and they want to apply the same ideology which they applied 30 years ago. Now, it is not possible. And that's why you see so many of these successful politicians, they always have a team of strategists and technocrats who advise them, yes, on what to say, on what to do, yeah, what to tell the people, because the issue of having somebody who can deliver is very important. Let's not also forget that a party needs somebody who can defend it. But how can a party also be properly defended if it has lesser numbers in the House? So I think as a country, we are trying. There are all manner of factors which are interfering with our democracy, like tribalism. Yes. Because if you look at, for example, the issue of running mate, and I must go back there again, Victor, yeah, the main factor which is being considered is which tribe do you come from? You see Mount Kenya saying, in Azimio, they are saying, we must produce the presidential candidate. Even in UDA, Mount Kenya have said we must produce the presidential candidate. Okay. Tribalism, all right, which is actually affecting democracy.
Let's take a break.
Yes.
But when we come back, close allies of Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka have accused President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga of betrayal. The Wiper leaders, mainly from Ukambani, insist Uhuru and Raila are reneging on a shrouded deal that makes Kalonzo an automatic Azimio second in command. Details when we come back after this break.